What's going on, guys? It's Shed. We're back here on some Modern Warfare 3, and we pretty much only got like 10 minutes left in this whole beta. So I've been using my new controller here, but I'm still not used to the fact that the right stick is a little shorter than it usually is. So like my aim is kind of all over the place. But I want to leave the console version of this game in good standing with myself. So I'm just going to use the UMP the rest of the time. But it's actually crazy though. This entire beta, I'm pretty sure out of all the time that I've played, admittedly, other people definitely have played more than me on this beta. The PC one, I'm definitely going to be playing more, but I'm surprised with the amount of times that I have gone like horribly negative, like half AFK in the game. I'm talking double, triple, quadruple negative, and then I end up joining Zuma. Then I connect to Mutex. Like, does the skill base ever go down or what? Oh yeah, that's another thing right there. Yeah, I just feel like I gotta take the flash grenades off. They're terrible now. Yeah, so people were telling me yesterday whenever I was complaining about it, if you took flash grenades and threw it at somebody, if they weren't looking at it, they actually won't be flashed anymore. It's no longer a thing of like, it just needs to be in the general vicinity of somebody. They actually have to be looking at it when it happens, which I think is a good balance change, but I had no idea that was a thing. So I wonder if the server's actually going to close right at 1. Surely they're not going to close right on time. They're usually off a little bit. I didn't get to play all the ways that I wanted to because just everything has been so scuffed for all of my controllers and everything and my settings and all that shit. So didn't really get to snipe that much. It just, I never got comfortable. But again, the game feels amazing. Already better than anything we played in a while. I know that there's that whole like, you know, common sentiment about it being, you know, the same copy paste, but there's one weird thing about this whole copy paste talk that we have. The issue is that people have always called Call of Duty a copy and paste. And another thing is that whenever I was pointing it out in yesterday's video, but I don't think people understood what I was actually trying to say. It sounded like I was defending them not like trying with their games or some shit. Because so Call of Duty can literally have a good game come out, everyone can love it, and then literally the next year they could just absolutely destroy it. So if I could use an example, Warzone. Now given that went like 2 or 3 years, but you know what I'm saying. They are completely capable of just taking the best thing that they have and turning it into one of the worst things that they have. It won't matter how much progress and how many changes and all this other stuff that we make to one of the games because they basically almost never learn. Also, HP regen needs to be looked at. I think it needs to regen a little bit faster. If there's no quick fix in this game, you need to turn it up. There's too many situations where the game is so fast paced that the health regen is not fast enough for the pace of the game. And it results in this thing where your character can do and move and do all of these things, attack all these different positions real quickly, get across the map real quickly, and then you can't go and win any gunfight though if you travel there quickly because you haven't regen. Anyway, what I was saying, we could have a perfect Call of Duty one year, and then the next year they forget all of the things that they did in that Call of Duty. As a model, it doesn't matter if we have a good game or a good year, because at the end of it, the next year, they're just going to abandon it. It's been the case this entire time. You just got introduced to the whole cycle through Warzone, and you're really starting to see it now, 3-4 years later. It doesn't change. It stays the same. They will always abandon everything that they've known just to go and try something new. One thing that we complained about, eventually it'll get to this point as well for all the newer, you know, players and fans of Call of Duty. They're eventually going to go full circle like us as well. They'll be very happy that they even produced a good game. Know that they're going to abandon it for the next game, no matter how bad the next game is. They'll put all of their effort into that one. And then you're going to wish as a player that they stuck with the last game. A lot of people are looking at me defending Modern Warfare 3 in some instances, not all of them either. In some instances, they're trying to look at that as me defending their laziness for them not creating a brand new product. The thing is that the thing that I wanted after all these years of being a Call of Duty player was for them to produce a good game and then build off of that game into something even better. And that's kind of what they're doing with Modern Warfare 3. They took the things that Modern Warfare 2 did right in terms of the setting and the feel and stuff like that, and then they go and fix those issues. Now, obviously, they took a step back from Modern Warfare 2019 to Modern Warfare 2022, but if we look at it from a starting point, like right here, where they took a game and then they quite literally did a copy-paste from Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3 and improved upon it, I think, in my opinion, we could have been worse off if they went in a new direction and made a completely brand new game and then threw everything out of the window over and over and over and over and over again. Why can't they go and try to build on top of the last game? That's my point. Now, there was a common discussion before, and a thing that people said for a very long time, well before they actually produced games like this, people would say that Call of Duty is the same thing every year. And with people saying that, we ended up getting shit like Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 4 and all the Jetpack Call of Duties. Now, I get it. Some people are big fans of Jetpack Call of Duty, but with that Jetpack Call of Duty stuff came a whole lot of criticism. Infinite Warfare. So just keep that in mind. Whenever you're sitting around saying they just produce the same same thing every single year. They didn't always just produce the same thing every year. That's just, it's not true. They're half true. The dissonant goes crazy after so many years because people are using words and terms, and then the terms are changing over the years. I think that Modern Warfare 3 is genuinely good. My point being, we could be much worse off. We could have just gotten another Infinite Warfare just out of nowhere. I mean, here we go. I know that there's somebody going to be here defending Infinite Warfare. One thing I also have to put out there, one thing I think that this game has kind of proven is that Vanguard actually, in terms of just the multiplayer sense, I'm not going to go around and just say Vanguard is a quote good game overall, but because that zombies was fucking inexcusable. I did the entire mastery grind. I'm not just somebody that looked at it and then just said it was shit or tried it a couple times and just like never came back to it. I did the entire mastery grind. But Vanguard would have actually been a successful and pretty well-reviewed Call of Duty if it was just modern. So many people are talking about the speed of this game when Vanguard was literally this. I'm gonna stand by it, mechanically speaking, besides like Bloom and shit like that. I mean, like late game Vanguard, the multiplayer experience was not bad. It being World War II and immediately just getting off to a bad start, one of the biggest issues that Vanguard dealt with was the fact that it was just based in World War II. Ugly as fuck. Now we have a modern-based Sledgehammer game, and look, people enjoy it. Dude, I saw that Ninja quote too where he said that Call of Duty players are just like mentally abused. It's like, dude, you're a sports fan. It's the same shit. Dude, you're a Lions fan. I know you know what that feels like. Update requires restart. No. They're gonna restart it, kick me back into the Modern Warfare 2 menu, and and it's over. It was 10 minutes extra, and it's over. I mean, that was fun. It's gonna be way more fun over on the PC beta, though. This experience at 120 hertz over on, like, the current gen, you know, versions of the game is a great experience. I can't say the same for like PlayStation 4 and the other Xbox and stuff, but my experience over here, 120 hertz and everything like that, beautiful, crisp, clean, smooth, feels great. Not many performance issues at all, really. The game has some issues here and there, but nothing that's like glaringly bad. And also understand, whenever I'm explaining the history of a lot of this shit, I'm not sitting here like trying to defend Activision in this process. You guys already know I don't accept any of the things. I ain't a COD partner. I ain't none of that shit. I am just a player of the fucking game. PC version of the game, though, will absolutely be even better. Just because, you know, customization, setting, the usual stuff. The new PS5, 30% smaller in volume, 1 terabyte internal storage, $450 digital edition, November release. And my PS5 looks exactly like this, though. Remember when the first slim versions of consoles were coming out? I remember when the PlayStation 2 Slim came out. That was a true, actual slim version of a console. That was the true one. Got an original PlayStation 2 to a PlayStation 2 Slim. I'm not saying I'm expecting the consoles to actually be that small, but what I'm saying is it's like 30%, you're reduce the size by 30%, and you're selling a whole new console for that? What the fuck? I assume the regular PS5 should drop like $50, $100 maybe in value once this comes out. Right? Sledgehammer Games says that there will be updates to operator visibility, slide delay, and more coming with Weekend 2 of the Modern Warfare 3 beta. More info to come closer to the beta Weekend 2, start on Thursday. So tomorrow we have a thing just in between. So we got all of the day to go through without that. That's fine. I'll just go and play like Mortal Kombat or some shit. Tomorrow will be a whole free day, and then Thursday is when the beta will start. Sledgehammer says Weekend 1 of the Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer beta has come to an end. We'll be back on Thursday with the highly anticipated return of High Rise, debut of Cutthroat, and more expected throughout the weekend ahead. Is Cutthroat that like multi-team mode or whatever that we had before? It says debut, but I'm pretty sure we've had this mode before. Until then, we'd like to take a moment to thank you all for your feedback. Sledgehammer Games coming through, I'm just saying. Our team is hard at work on further improvements for Weekend 2 and beyond. Later this week, you can expect an update on some of the top concerns we observed, including, but not limited to, operator visibility, slide timing, and spawn selection. Now, if we go over to that poll that I just looked at yesterday, it's crazy how they are addressing 3 of the 4 concerns on here, and even the inconsistent TTK, it really just, it's not so much that it's inconsistent, it's that just certain weapons will just be always consistently better than the other weapons because of the way that they normalize damage on the game. But even then, it's still the smallest concern out of these 3, and they address those 3 directly. Now, again, I don't want to pull the trigger too early on this and be like, oh my god, they addressed all this stuff just within a couple days, like we've never seen that before. We have seen that before, and then we end up getting radio silence. That's a real thing. I've seen a lot of people praising them for your quick fix over on Battle Rage and all that stuff, but that's not necessarily an overall omen for how quick they will be on all the other fixes. Remember, on Vanguard, they took months to go and fix just simple camo challenges. They had to ask the community what was even wrong with a launcher when there were multiple videos in front of them watching the launcher actively not do launcher thing. It literally would not be able to destroy UAVs. You guys remember that, right? You have a lock-on launcher that is meant to be shot at kill streaks, and it doesn't destroy the kill streaks. We had to resort to shooting that rocket at dogs to get streak destroys. Anyway, I want to praise them on this at least a little bit. They are addressing the 3 main issues. Visibility being the number 1, delay after the slide cancel, which is number 2, and the spawn, which is number 3. All directly right here. So, the way that they could fix those main concerns, obviously spawn selection is just a kind of a no-brainer thing. They just need to be better. I know that's a whole, like, just fix it kind of thing. It's a good thing that they don't have squad spawns. It is a good thing. But the logic of the spawns is off. It's really odd. Like, if you have the A flag and the B flag, the idea is that within domination, if you have the A flag and the B flag and you guys control those flags strongly, you have a player position at the C flag, a player position at the B flag, and people not too pressed up into the C flag spawn should be able to hold people generally in the C flag spawn. But in this game, you could capture 2 of the points and people will still generally spawn at the C flag, but it seems like not the whole team flips. It's like one random player will randomly spawn out of like their selected already captured flag. And that's a bad thing to do in the game because it basically makes your control of the map just not real. It makes the gunfights more random. You have to turn around a lot more. And also I understand we don't want it to be a whole, you know, shooting fish in a barrel kind of simulator. If people are literally staring directly at a spawn point and shooting people as they spawn, yeah, absolutely, that should get hit. But if they spawn in a safe place and they have a decision to either jump out and challenge the people that are holding them in the spawn, or try to find a flank around, that should be the choice there. You either get spawn trapped, do the spawn trapping, and break the spawn trapping. That's the whole name of the game. Capture the flags, you spawn trap them to be able to control your flags more easily. If they're spawning in places that you guys already control, to basically catch you guys off guard, or bail the other team out for doing absolutely nothing, just hoping for a good spawn, it doesn't feel good. Next, operator visibility. This is the thing people wanted, like the nameplates above there. Some people were talking about like an HP bar, adding like a highlight around the characters, or making the models themselves stand out more in the environment. They could do a whole lot of things with this. The visibility is a little weird sometimes. I notice myself shooting at teammates every once in a while, which is odd. It doesn't usually happen to me like that. Given, I mean, it's nothing like Modern Warfare 2019, where like literally there were no markers through the walls, there was no radar, there were so many people shooting at their teammates. Modern Warfare 2019's release, the immediate release, needs to be studied. I don't know what they were trying to, I mean, I know what they were trying to do, but I don't know who thought in their right mind thought that shit was a good idea. It's just not how Call of Duty is. There are way better mil-sim shooters out there if you're going for realism. Yeah, operator visibility will, you know, get touched up with, you know, either highlights or a different kind of contrast or exposure kind of thing on the characters. Maybe a nameplate. The slide timing, we'll see, you know, what they mean by slide timing, because it doesn't necessarily say slide delay. It says slide timing. We'll see what goes on with that whole thing. Even with the tac pads, there is like this weird thing where like when your character is getting up out of the slide, you can't immediately sprint again, and I feel like you should be able to immediately tac sprint again. Instead, it's like this weird thing where you have to like build up the momentum again after the slide was done, but I don't know what they mean by slide timing. Maybe they'll shorten that window a little bit, but it'll still exist. Generally, still, I don't hate it. This feels better than, you know, the last year. So. And then the spawn selection. They'll make improvements over that. I know that they did multiple passes over Vanguard. They must have made like 4 or 5 different adjustments to the shipment playlist alone with the spawn selection. They reduced the player count, they moved the spawns around. They tried to bring the player count back up, and then it still didn't work, so then they just reduced it permanently. It was interesting time. But yeah, a couple days from now, we'll be able to go and play the, you know, actual PC version of the game, the best feeling version of the game, see how graphics affect, you know, the visibility of things and all the different settings and stuff in there. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support on all the videos recently. It's been absolutely crazy. And yeah, it's been Jeff, guys. Later.